All right. Yeah. Okay. So we back here to put some stuff to the test, right? We want to put it to the test. Like once a person's been sealed, such as myself, it's gonna be about me. Can a person who has been sealed and have seen the Messiah himself, and no one can take that shit from me, who can dare take that from me with their so-called dreams, visions, and all that other kind of crap? I'm here for war. I'm here to start something. Won't be none. Don't start nothing, but I'm here to start it. So we're gonna look at the scriptures to see once a person has been sealed, can they be unsealed? When out my mouth, I done said I'm sealed October 7, 1997. Let's see if that stuff can actually change. Now, I heard that a person who's been named, been written in the Lamb's Book of Life can be scratched out of it. But that person has not been sealed. We need to see once a person's name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life, is that the same thing as them being sealed? Or is just them, the Father starting off with everyone's name written in the Book of Lamb's Book of Life, and then as time goes on, he's like, you know what, we're gonna etch that name out, etch that name out, etch that name out, etch that name out, etch that name out. Because it seems like that way. Like everyone's name starts off in the Lamb's Book of Life, and then as time goes on, he just etches your name out. But once you've been sealed, that's like a final act. Can no one's dream, visions, thoughts, can they dreams and visions that they have of you take you out of being unsealed? Or what about impending doom? Can that remove you from the Father's care? I think it's a word that says that nothing shall remove you from his hand. I think that's David. Chinkies, I think it is. So we about to go and kill some false doctrine, kill some false dreams, kill some false visions. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for it. So there's another session of truth colors, and I'm bucking at every single person who's speaking differently than what this word say. All right. So let it be known, I'm here with the guns, pistols, and everything loaded up in this mug. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Anyone who wants to bring it, let them bring it. But if they bring it, they better bring the scripture, because if they bring anything else other than the scriptures, I'm cutting their heads off. Right? So let it be known. Salute to everyone watching by Truth Colors, Yeshaya Congo, Facebook page. Salute to everyone watching by Yasha Yahoo, Facebook page. Salute to everyone watching by Yasha Yahoo, YouTube channel. Salute to everyone watching by Bantu Yisolele, Twitter account. Salute to everyone watching by Lepship Tahita Marye, Facebook page. Salute to everyone watching by King David, YouTube channel. Salute to Goshen. Salute to Michaela and Micah, Etana and Cheryl. May the will of the Father be done on the earth as it is in the heavens. This is another session of Truth Colors, and my name is King Music, or King David, or Isaiah, or Heart of Psalms, as the Father has named me. Right? That's the name that the Father gave me. I have a new identity in the Father, a new identity in our Messiah. Period. Use the name. All right. So we better go ahead and hit the intro and let it flow from there. Let's go. I'm here for whoa.
saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark into his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Elohim, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Satan cast into the lake of fire. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and they shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. The great white throne. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. Stand before Elohim, and the books were open, and another book was open, which was
Okay. So we need to see some things, all right? So number one, once a person is sealed, can they become unsealed? Now we have visited this a couple of times, but we really never really looked at the scriptures for it. So today we're gonna like put a couple of nails and seal this bad boy shut forever. So it can never come up again. Period. That's my job. To start a war, I want to start a fight. Now, I've seen some things that most people have never seen. Number one, who have seen the Messiah? Like truly. Not the white version, but the real version of who he is. Is there a show of hands? Can anyone say right here in the audience, or anyone who will see this video later on, can they say with their mouths that they have seen the Messiah visibly? Not a vision, not a dream, but right here. Like I said, if they cannot say that they have saw the Messiah face to face, then they need to shut up. That means I outrank every single person on this earth. That means your pastor, your so-called apostle, your so-called rabbit or rabbi, the so-called Black Hebrew Israelites, so-called Christian preacher, Christianity, period, Islam, Kemet, Bantu-isms. That means pastor. So that means I outrank Mello too, right? Mikhail Massa, all of them. So what do they have? Not a damn thing on me. Because if they can't say that they saw Yasha or Yeshaya, but they want to talk about him, but they never seen him, wouldn't that be the same thing as bearing false witness against them? Or bearing false witness? How are you going to talk about something they never seen? The Messiahs could actually give a testimony about the Messiah because they saw him. So all these people talking about Yeshaya, Yeshaya this, Yeshaya that, Yeshaya this, Nazambi, and all that kind of stuff like that, but they ain't never talked to him ever. You know what? We're going to look into the prophets. We're going to go look. Did the prophets have any kind of connection to the Father? Did the Father talk to them? Because if the Father talked to them, that'll make them true witnesses of what they heard. So if a person has never witnessed anything in their life, but want to say what the Father done said, but it doesn't match up with Scripture, then that means they're being false witnesses, false prophets, false teachers, false everything. Literally, how can you talk about somebody you never ever talked to? And you can say, oh, by his spirit. Okay. It's by his spirit what you heard is in the word, because the Father is not going to do anything, that he's not already said in his word. If you can't find the word, then does it exist? Most likely, no. What happened to me can be found in the word. It's dramatic and literally something like Hollywood is still in the word, but it's there. Did the Father talk to Amos? Did he talk to Elijah? Did he talk to Elisha? Did he talk to Jeremiah? Did he talk to Isaiah? Did he talk to Daniel? Because if he talked to all of them, then they're not bearing false witness when they speak that they saw something. They're bearing witness to what they saw. So let me ask the question. What have these so-called prophets seen? Can it be found in the word? Because if it cannot be found in the word, it's not real. Because it will be nothing that will be said at this time that you cannot find in the scriptures. If they say, oh, it's spiritually discerned and you can't find it in the word, then I admire you right now to run the hell away, because you are on your way to hell if you continue on listen to these buster so-called teachers. Is what it is. I don't care how old they are, how young they are. If they are trying to say that what they saw cannot be found in the word because it's spiritually discerned, not for spiritual babies and all that bull, and I mean to cut. I mean to be a rock of offense, and I mean to be a stumbling block. I mean to be a demon. I mean to be an evil spirit. I mean to be all those things. Whatever anyone want to call me, whatever you say I am, so be it. I can care less. I am what I am, and I'm not changing. But we're going to look into this word. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get to it right now. Let's get to it. Let's bring out the scriptures. So we're just gonna look at basic scriptures. Right now, also Venom, let there be carnage is released. I was gonna play that, but now since the power just turned off, I'm not gonna play that because that will kill the power even that much more. For me, we want to actually get up and leave and go to the King's Bakery, but I'm here right now and about to sweat this bad boy out. So let's put in here. Let's type it in. Can a person be unsealed after being sealed? What's the whole point of the Father sealing a person? And he sees that they're going to do something in their life later on that it's not going to take them by surprise. Now, no matter how much a person might feel or a person might be hurt or whatever, Uh-oh. It's like someone's own little paper. See what they got right here. This is in 2012. Sealed and unsealed. End times prophecy 314. This is what we're going to see here. Just a little bit. Concerning the term sealed and unsealed, with regard to prophecy, an examination of the contrasting language in Daniel and Revelation provides a conceptual model outlined here. As will be noted throughout this explanatory discussion, the models seem unable to account for or reconcile with particular factors and considerations. The components of this conceptual model are as follows. First, there are certain books in heaven, one of which seems to be a book or scroll that contains information regarding future events. Certain content in this book or perhaps set of books has been unsealed and made available to prophets at particular points in history and at other times resealed. Furthermore, these contents seem related in some form or fashion to prophetic information containing both symbolic visions and non-symbolic, non-visionary plain language. When resealed and information contained in this book is not currently being divulged to mankind. So it's not talking about a person being sealed versus a sealing of the book. Now, October 7, 1997, I saw, let me look at y'all real quick. I'm putting on my testimony in front of everybody, killing everything else. October 7, 1997, before there was ever anything, before I was married, before there was anyone ever in my life, period, before kids, 17 years old, there is no marriage, there's no ring on my finger, there's nothing. So no one knows anything. This trumps everything that anyone would say from that time forth. So at this moment, this will be trumping everything throughout my entire life. Now, October 7, 1997, as people heard me before, I was high and I saw the seal of the Father come upon me to where my mouth screamed out saying, I'm being sealed. The seal of Yah, or the seal of God at the time when I said, was real. I said, the seal of God is real. It's real. I'm being sealed. I saw it with my own eyes. No one can take that from me. I don't care who you are or what you think you are. You ain't that bad enough. I was sealed. Now I want to see in the scriptures. Can I, myself, be unsealed? Because a person might be hurt, whatever the case may be. Can I be unsealed? Period. Because if that's the case, I've never seen that in scripture. I've never seen a person get sealed and then the Father unsealed them. If the Father seals you, guess what that means? You made it. Why would the Father waste a seal on a person? You know what I'm saying? All right, like, so it's like when you go to the post office. I had to have this sent over here. Where did it go? It need to go over here to this place over to Yehuda Bantu. All right, is everything in here? Yeah, you sure? Because once I seal this, ain't gonna be unsealed. We have to put in another envelope if I seal this right now. You sure? Yeah, okay. Then they take a stamp and they do what? It's sealed. Now, once this seal has been put on this envelope, can they go find something that says the unsealer and be like, see, I just unsealed your letter right here because you said it was some wrong information on here. So you can actually put the right information on here. I unsealed your letter now so you can send it off or correct what you need to correct. Or do you have to go get a whole nother envelope, which means a whole nother person, and seal them? You see how we just went through and just cut off the head of that real quickly? It's just so simple, right? Just basics right there. Just not even freaking 5 minutes, just 1 minute, cut head off, right? I don't care less how people feel about me. I can care less. I can give a rat's ass. I can give a damn how you feel about me. You can't unseal me, period. And my job is to piss our people off. I can care less how people feel about me. I can care less how people feel about me over here in the Gambia. Care less. I would probably be the most hated person on this earth, or most hated person in the government. Guess what? I can give 2 fucks. Care less. I am me, and I'm gonna continue to do what I do. Now, moving on, like I was saying before, with this seal on this envelope, can it be unsealed? No. It's not like food you prepare. If it's food you prepare, like yesterday, if you get some wine or something like that and a fly come in it, do the person go through and just take the wine out, take the fly out, and then give you back the drink? No, that's just disgusting, right? He had to give you a whole nother drink, whole nother cup, everything, right? The same exact thing. If a person has been sealed, you have to go seal a whole nother person for that person to be sealed too. You don't remove the seal. The seal is like the last step in the redemption process. Once you have been sealed, it's the same thing as saying, it's the last step. All right, everything is good here. You know, checked out all the information. All right, cool. It's all the addresses on here, right? It's all the names on here, right? It is. Okay, because I'm about to put this seal on there. And once I put this seal on it, that's it. It's when we're ready to be sent out to Yehuda Bantu. So is everything ready here? I look at it. Yeah, let me go ahead and put my Goshen Black stamp on it. At that moment, nothing else can be changed on it. That's it. It's been sealed with Goshen Black. And then when they put their stamp on it, that is it. So look at this in a notary. When you go to a notary, once the notary has put their notary seal on it, it is sealed. Thank you, Father. Father's taking me straight to Daniel. Let's do it. Father's like, show them an example of the seal in Daniel. So we're going to go to Daniel. This seal was so high that this seal didn't come from the king himself. It came from the kingdom of where the king came from. The seal of the king. Daniel. Let's bring it out, shall we? Daniel and the lion's den. Come on now, let's do it. So we're going to see about seals today, right? What is the power of a seal? Can a person be unsealed once there is a seal over their lives? So Father says start at the beginning, so let's do it. Daniel chapter 6. Let's kick it off. The plot against Daniel. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give accounts unto them, and the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him. And the king thought to set him over the whole realm. He is feeling him. Daniel, man, you just make me smile all over, boy. Just, man, I love me some Daniel. So, with that being said, watch this. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes, because of an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion. Watch this. People sought occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault, for as much as he was faithful, neither was any error or fault found in him. Now hold up, we're gonna hold our spot, because the Father has now taken me to another thing about the faithful servant. Now the faithful servant is not who you think it is. It's a little bit different. The faithful servant. Parable. Now, this is what I did. People heard my story, when I was in Kentucky. I'm not the one who tell you first, like, yes, Father, I'll do it. Nope. I'm the first one to tell you, no. I'm not, ooh, yes, Lord. That's never been me. All right. I don't want no one to get any false accusations about me. Right. I want you to understand that I am real when it comes to it. When they asked me what I was doing, I told them I was smoking weed. I didn't make up the most, eloquent speech of saying like I'm just sitting here just filling my lungs up with smoke. No, I said I'm smoking weed. I was being real. The angels asked me a question, and damn it, I answered them. I answered them with the most realist understanding I could do it. I was not trying to be sophisticated. I can give a damn about being sophisticated. You understand? I am hood. Most of the time, I'm hood and I stay hood. I stay hood to the police officers. I stay hood in the Gambia. I stay hood. Now, I know how to put on different coats, different words for different people at different times, but damn it, at the heart of me, I'm hood, and I love it. I'm not trying to change that. Let's go. Now, 23. That's why I said if you from the hood, Gambia ain't gonna be nothing for you but the hood, all right? But if you are one of those sophisticated people who grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth, you're gonna have some problems here because it's not what you used to, right? But if you used to, happen to make things work, happen to make certain sandwiches and stuff like that, guess what? You are in the right neighborhood, all right? So when I came down, people tell me like, man, when you came down here, you wasn't even shell shocked, culture shocked, or anything. It was like you fit right in. I said, why? Because I'm from the hood, Dayton, Ohio. Now, people don't know what Dayton, Ohio is. We come from what? Westwood. Westwood was thuggish as you can be. People got killed. People got beat the hell up. People got beat to a pulp. People came through. We did drive-bys on houses and everything like that. I knew people like that who came by with shotguns and shot up houses. Do I praise that? No, I'm just trying to show you my surroundings. I got along with hood. I got along with prostitutes. I got along with gangsters. I got along with them. They were mostly like my family members. In fact, I literally preferred them over than Christian folks. Because at least with them, it was real. But some of that changed when I got around some Christian folks. They began to show me a different side of things. Right? I'm just being real. I'm not trying to be pretense or anything. I don't want anyone to think anything in a pretense type of way. I'm hood. When the cops see me, they see hood. When the drill sergeant saw me, they saw hood. When the father saw me, I don't know what he saw. But what I saw to him was I was hood and he was holy. I didn't see myself as righteous or anything because I saw hood. All I know is when I saw the Messiah, I couldn't think of anything unrighteous or unholy. And I was like, wait a minute. For the first time, my mind is clear. I wasn't thinking about no titties, no ass, no nothing. Andrew, it's time. There was no titties in my mind when he showed up and said, Andrew, it's time. I was surprised. I was shocked. It's like, how'd you get past the titties? Because I thought, literally, I'm just telling you, I think about titties 24/7. And this has been ever since I was, my first time ever smoking weed was the age of 2. My mama put the weed to my mouth, let me puff, smoke. So, yeah. And I was introduced to porn since a young child. Literally, my childhood from 2 years old and up is nothing but going to people's houses and seeing nothing but just porn. That has been my life, literally. Do you understand why I said, Father, I'm not the king? I don't want to put it, oh, he had a silver spoon. No, I did not, okay? Let's just kill that noise. I'm trying to show you like probably the worst situation that the Father chose from the worst situation, a king. I grew up seeing porn all my young life. That's all I knew. Nothing else. All right? Let's be real. This is real talk. All right? Let's go. So after a long time, the father of those servants cometh. Watch this. Let's see. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling, the parable of the talents. The kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered them unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents. To the other, I'm sorry, I got to turn on this fan because it's like a little bit hot. I think the father, the air just came back on. Bless him, right? Let's go. And to the one he gave 5 talents, right? And to another 2, and to another 1, and to every man according to his several ability. Now, watch this. You're going to find yourself in this. Some of you got 5 talents. Some of you got 2. Some of you got 1. But to every man according to his several ability. Guess what? You working a job does not count as a talent. Let me look at y'all real quick. I'm gonna put this out here. Just because you can count bills don't mean that's a talent. What did the Father give you naturally? Can you paint? Can you draw? Can you sing? Can you do upholstery? Can you go to a room and organize it? What do you do naturally from a little kid? Those are called talents. And every single last one of them, every single last one of us have them. Guess what I'm doing? Singing. Music. Guess what I've been doing ever since I was a little child? Music. The very same thing that I was brought into this world to do is the very same thing I've been doing literally for all my life. Literally. When they say music, they mean music. Why? Because you can ask my brothers, my sisters, my mom, my auntie, my cousins, every single person. Hey, what is King Music? King who? You know, y'all call him Andrew or Drew. You know, what has he all been doing all of his life? Oh, that's simple. He's been doing music like all of his life. So my name literally matches my character. Your name was supposed to tell you who you are. It says a good name is to be chosen rather than silver, gold, or any pricely gems or stones, because your name told you who you are. Now watch this. When we all came over here, people got some good names, people got some bad names. What about Buckabuckana? Buttwalkana? Man, my name is like Jonathan Buckwatner. Buckwatner? You came from Georgia? How you know? Because we got Buckwatner farms over there. Yeah, I mean, they said my ancestors and all them came. My mama, my grandma used to say she came from the Buckwatner farms. Yeah. So how many people had Buckwatner name over there? Oh, we had about like 500 slaves. So wait a minute. So all 500 slaves has the last name of Buckwatner. Well, you have to look up Buckwatner, what it means. It means what a butt. Man, what a butt on her, boy. Man. What's the value in that? Do you see what I'm saying? Your name signifies your value. So people be calling a child demon. Man, I got my, you gonna call your child, I'm gonna call him Damon, man. Damon. Now this ain't that like demon? No, it's not demon, it's Damon. How you spell it? Demon. Yeah, that's demon. No. You are pronouncing the E wrong. It's not demon, it's daemon. Sounds like demon to me. You gonna name your child Demon Child? No, it's daemon. Daemon. And we think that this name's so cool because we don't want to name them little names like Susie. And I understand why. Because we don't even know what Susie means. And all this stuff. But yet and still we so quick to name them anything. How about these Hebrew names? If we go to some of these Hebrew names, we probably be scared. Like Hapa'aba'ana. Haba'aba'ana. Habayat. Who's a Habayat? What the hell you talking about? Habayat. What does that mean? You don't know Hebrew? You don't know Paleo Hebrew? No, you don't even know it either. I just chose me a name. What about the Bantu names? People just choosing names. They're just picking out names right now. My name is B. It says a good name is to be chosen rather than silver. Right there. Let's go get that real quick. So y'all need to watch out what y'all name y'all child. Y'all be wondering why y'all got problems with your child later on because what you named them. A good name. They just choose any kind of name. Look at this. You attain favor from a good name. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, love and favor rather than silver and gold. Do you understand? A good name is to be chosen. A good name is more desirable than great riches. Favor is better than silver and gold. The rich and poor have this in common. The Father is the maker of them all. The memory of the righteous is a blessing, but the name of the wicked will rot. A good name is better than fine perfume, and one's day of death is better than his day of birth. You know why? That means it's over now. Your pain, your struggle, your heartache is all over. You was brought into this world, and now you about to be taken out. You know why? This person about you pain, about your heartache, man, you ain't got to go through that no more. They struggle is over. They are dead. You understand? So it's saying a person's day of death is better than his day of birth. That is powerful right there. Him in the sight of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he made him governor over Egypt and all his house. A good name earned by honorable behavior, goodly wisdom, moral courage, and personal integrity is more desirable, and great riches and favor is better than silver and gold. That is not true right there. All right. A good name is not earned. The Father gives you a good name. The white man can give you a good name all day long, but that's to be his what? His slave. But the Father gives a good name. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches and love and favor, rather than silver and gold. But is that honorable to the Father? What the Father wants you to tear their stuff up? bust their head up into the white meat shows, they would consider what you just did dishonorable conduct. So is that really a good name? Gideon was a soldier, but Gideon was told to tear some stuff up. Does that mean that Gideon's name is a bad name? No, it doesn't. It means Gideon was obedient, right? So for those who can't see the scriptures on here, because I can see it's all blurry for some strange reason, that is Proverbs 22 and 1, right? A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. That means you being rich, being famous, or whatever. Having your hair together, and favor is better than silver and gold, right? So a good name gives you favor, right? And it doesn't mean you have a good name with the police officers. Doesn't mean you have a good name with the rest of the world. Doesn't mean you have a whole good name with all of the Bantus. I can give a damn if Bantus like me or not. I really don't care. Because guess what? None can stop me from being who I am, and none can stop me from what the word says is already mine. Not one person can erase that from the scriptures. I like to see them try. They will die trying before it happens. Let's go. So, moving on. To his several ability and straightway took his journey. Then he had received 5 talents, went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. Now, one went and digged in the earth and hid. Wow. All right, let's go back on to it. I'm about to go into the front. This is crazy. All right. So he hid his master's money. Now watch this. After a long time, the master of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Master, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His master said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of your master. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Master, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents besides them. His master said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of All right. So then he received, it says, look at this. Thou art an hard man. Wait a minute, hold up. But I thought the Messiah was so loving, caring, understanding. It said he was a hard man. This is the Messiah giving this example, this parable. And he said that the master was a hard man, meaning what? He meant what he said, right? So when he said something, he meant it. He wasn't changing his mind. You either have his money or get dealt with, right? So then he which received the one talent came and said, Master, I knew thee, thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. Let's see what the master say. Does he change? Like, I'm not a hard man. I'm cuddly Wuddy. I'm a teddy bear. I will never hurt her fly. And I was afraid. Wait a minute, hold up. He's a hard man. And now this person who received one talent is afraid of his master. Does that seem like a soft teddy bear to you that Christianity try to paint for your face? And even all the bond tools saying it's all about peace. It's all about love. It's all about Africa unite. Let's just see. And I was afraid and went and hid that talent. He was so afraid of the master that he went and hid the talent. So he didn't take anything from him. I don't want to mess with this guy. I want to make sure I give everything back to him that he gave to me. But see if that was the right choice that the master wanted from him. Or did the master want something else from him? Let's see what happens here. Let's see what the master thought about his so-called plan, right? And I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast, that is thine. His master answering said unto him, thank you, thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not. And gathered where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers. And then at my coming, I should have received my own with usury. That means what? With interest. Take therefore the talent from him and give it unto him which have 10 talents. Wait a minute, hold on. He didn't give him another chance. Ain't no Biggie, give me another chance. Biggie, please give me another chance. Messiah, give me another chance. It's none of that. It's, what does the Messiah say about him? I want to see about that. So wait a minute, hold up. So the Messiah is that way. And that's my brother. How you think I'm gonna be? Hold on, let me look at y'all real quick. How's people expect me to be? If the Messiah himself is a hard man, am I supposed to be soft? I'm supposed to carry out the family, right? I'm gonna be hard in too, right? It's gonna be like all out of mercy, right? Means obey or die. I don't care less who you are. Sounds about right. Let's go. All right. What does it say? Verse 26. He says, stranger, and then at my coming I should have received my own, will usually take thine. Take therefore the talent from him and give it unto him which have 10 talents. Verse 29. For unto everyone that shall be given, he shall have abundance. But from him that have not, shall be taken away even that which he has. And cast, wait a minute, hold up. Let me put this on the screen so big so everybody need to know who's going to hell and who's not, right? And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. This is the same one who acknowledged and said, I know you are a hard man. So everyone looking for someone to be all nice, soft, cuddly, wuddly, and all that kind of stuff, kill that noise. The spirit of truth is not going to be cuddly wuddly. He's not going to sit there and hold your hand. He's going to sit there and tell you what it is. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, damn it, you die. But he ain't going to shed no tears. Because literally when Saul was actually passed over, let's see what the Father said about Saul. I'm going to show you my heart real quick. Right? Are you still crying over Saul? I have rejected him. That's the Father's words. The Father was like, what? Are you still crying over him? And it wasn't even a whole day. Samuel anoints David. 1 Samuel 16:1. Now the Father said to Samuel, how long are you going to mourn for Saul? This was literally a couple hours ago. Since I have rejected him as king over Israel. So wait a minute, hold up. It's only the Father who can reject a person from being king. Not a woman, not a child, not a people, not a man, not anything. Only the Father. So if the Father has rejected him, that is the only way a king can be removed. But we still need to see about the seal, right? How long are you going to mourn for Saul, since I have rejected him? Why did the Father reject Saul? Because he did not do what the Father told him to do. Has nothing about him with anyone else. Has everything to do with him not doing what the Father told him to do. David has some bad relationships with the people, or some women, or even his own children, as we see in the scriptures. We have Absalom, who done killed his own brothers, he was killing his brothers. He was just killing them all, killing a lot of people, right? Solomon ended up killing one of his brothers because he tried to take his kingdom. So it's a whole bunch of bloodshed going on with David and his family. Like a whole lot of what? Just shystiness. Straight up cutthroats, right? And it can care less. My name is King David. So that means it would be for my family members who are straight up cutthroats. Could care less, right? And the Father literally calls for pain to be in the house of David. But that pain cannot last forever, right? But the Father said right here, he has rejected Saul, right? From being king over Israel. Then he tells him quickly, he done got over him. He said, fill your horn with oil and go. You notice that the Father did not shed one tear over Saul. Not one. As soon as the Father rejected him, that was it. He didn't sit here and boo-hoo cry, oh, I really want Saul. Ooh, I really want him to be a king. Like, nope, all right, cool, he didn't do what I want him to do. Fine, next person, David. It's a man after my own heart. I've already chosen me a new king. As soon as Saul did not do what he wanted him to do, he chose someone who would listen and obey what the Father told him to do. That's it. The Father said, do this. If the person didn't do it, then the Father easily replaced you. You were replaceable. Quickly, right? So we see the same thing here. Saul did not do what the Father told him to do. So therefore, he became replaceable. The only way David could be replaceable is if he don't do what the Father told him to do. This has nothing to do with personally, with anything in his own relationships. It's only with the Father. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. So, how long are you going to mourn for Saul, since I have rejected him as king over Israel? Fill your horn with oil and go. I am sending you to Jesse of Bethlehem, for I have selected from his sons a king for myself. How can I go? Samuel asked. Saul will hear of it and kill me. Watch this. The Father got that figured out. Oh, the Father answered, take a heifer with you and say, I have come to sacrifice to the Father. He already had everything already figured out. Everything. He knew that Samuel's life was in danger by going to anoint a whole nother king. So therefore, will put Samuel in the midst of being faith. For anything that's done without faith is sin. So literally by him anointing David to be the king, it was done by faith, which makes David's position unmovable, unmovable. unshakable. No man, woman, ghost can remove David from being king, no matter what they think they have on him. Period. The word is the word. So, the word is the word. So we see that the father for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Some of our people are rebellious, and it's the same thing as being what? Witchcraft. So if the father says do something, if he says stop listening to Jonathan, but you still want to listen to him, guess what that's called? Rebellion. Guess what you are called at that moment? A witch or a warlock. I don't care how you feel. Well, I felt my spirit. Forget your spirit. The word says don't do it. Now, I don't care what you thought you saw. I don't care what you saw in a vision. I don't care what you heard in a dream. The Father could be testing your heart. Stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. So that means if you see what the word says, but still, I'm still going to do this because this is what I feel I should be doing. Guess what that's called? Iniquity. And it's called idolatry. So witchcraft literally is stubbornness, iniquity, and idolatry. Here's three things to it. Rebellion is as witchcraft. Rebellion is as stubbornness. Rebellion is as iniquity. Rebellion breeds idolatry. Meaning what? You are lean to your own understanding and set yourself up. Watch this, as an idol. That's where the word comes in. Is not my word like a fire and like a hammer that breaks your behind into pieces? You have become the rock, and the Father's word has become the hammer to crack you in the noggin until your behind either bleed out or say uncle, which means what? Literally give in and do what he say do. If not, he'll keep beating on you until you are dead. So be it. That is my job. And I will enjoy killing a whole bunch of people on the face of this earth for being rebellious, no matter who they are. Hold on. All right. Y'all get anything from this? Are we helping you to understand about the only one who can remove a king is the Father. Doesn't matter what that king does. Does not matter what a person thinks. The only person who can remove a king is the Father. The Father says, since I have rejected him being king. Samuel was like, wait a minute, hold up. I'm not rejecting him. Like, it's just crazy. The Father rejected Saul as being king. Only the Father can reject a king. Anyone who try to reject the king, it doesn't even matter. The Father must reject him. If he rejects him, that rejection sticks. If the people reject him, that don't mean a hill of beans. That's just you voicing your opinion, which is like a butt. Everyone got one. It don't mean nothing at all. It's just you voicing your opinion. Thank you for your opinion, but it doesn't hold any weight at all. Period. Stuff is hilarious, actually, really. It is. How we think that our own opinions mean something. Stuff is hilarious. Well, I don't want to be king. So what? Don't even matter. Your choice don't even mean nothing. It just doesn't. So let's go. We got a good name. It'll be to cast the unprofitable servant to outer darkness, and shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now, here we go. Let's get the plot against Daniel. Okay, let's look at it. Let's see what happened to Daniel. We got a little plot going on. Let's see if that's going to remove. All right. So now we got Daniel. Okay. We're going to see about this seal, right? Once the seal has been done, can it be broken? Let's see. So it pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first. He wasn't last, he was the first. That the princes might give account unto them, and the king should have no damage. Now, if you can hear the wind blowing into my microphone, I don't know what to tell you. It's hot. So, and now you don't have no blowing in the microphone no more because the lights just went out because the power just went off. So, it is what it is, right? Let's go. Which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give accounts unto them, and the king should have no damage. Okay. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes. Now, you know people have a problem with that because people be preferred over people. People don't know how to congratulate. They just know how to hate. Because the excellent spirit was in him. Wait a minute, hold on. He had an excellent spirit. And the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel. Was they trying to find a way to make him fall? That's what it is. I don't care how much you soaring, okay, how much good news you got coming in, the devil gonna always try to bring someone or something against you to try to bring you pain. I don't care what it is. That's just what you're gonna go through until we get to the millennium. All right. Once we get to the millennial reign, all this stuff that people is gyrating over, hurt, pains, all that stuff will go away, right? Because you will be in a season of peace. But as long as there is green grass on the earth, as much as the Father will elevate you, something in your life will be used to try to sour the celebration. I've seen it all the days of my life. thus far. It has gone on without fail. I don't care what it is. The enemy will use whomever, whatever, to actually do it. Okay, use a cop, use a situation, CPS, whatever, to do it. Right. As soon as everything seems to be good, here comes something to try to come through and wham. Right. So it's like that's why it says many of the afflictions are the righteous, right? So you have to be ready, instant in season and out of season, prepare for the little things that try to come in and try to take your joy. You must actually hold your head up like a flint and keep on moving as if it does not exist. Just keep it going. Don't even care. Like, all right, this came up, fine, whatever, so be it. Just keep on moving, keep on pushing as if it never even came in, right? Keep it moving. All right. Then this Daniel was preferred above the president and princes because of an excellent spirit was in him. The king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the president and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could not find none occasion nor fault, for as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his maker. Ooh. So now they want to use the very same thing that he trusts in to actually entrap him. What they don't know, what they just did was give Daniel an anchor. Can someone say an anchor? Someone just gave, these men literally said, watch what they said. We can't use anything outside of his creator to use against him. So the very same thing that he trusts in, we're going to use that against him? They are so bright. Daniel will do anything for his maker. And the only thing you're going to use against him is the very same thing that he trusts in over all of his promotions, over every single thing he's ever gotten in his life. You're going to use that very same thing for his downfall. When the word says those who trust in him, the Father will not leave them confounded. All they just did was set a stepping stone in Daniel's life. They put a strong anchor in his soul where he will not be moved. They literally used the Father as his enemy when the Father's word says what? If Yah is for you, who could be against you? But if the Father is against you, who can be for you? Now you see how dumb they are? And every single tongue that rises against them in judgment, he has the power to condemn. And that's exactly what happens to them at the end. The same ones who rose against him with their tongue, the Father literally turned their own tongues against them and threw them in the same trap that they tried to throw Daniel in. So be careful with your words. The Father could be baiting you with your own words. The Father says, touch not my anointing and do my prophets no harm. If you know that this person's a prophet, keep your mouth the hell off of him. If you know he's going to be anointed, keep your mouth the hell off of him. See, most people think you got to touch a prophet with your hands. No, you can touch him with your words. If you're disrespectful with your words, guess what? It's the same thing as touching him. All right? One thing what people need to understand is this. Uncle Kenny used to say some disrespectful things at times. Very disrespectful. So when I see certain things happen, I'm not moved, nor am I shocked. He would say stuff like this, out of all the women that King David had or that you had, whatnot, I wouldn't be with none of them. I just wouldn't do that. You don't understand that that's disrespectful. See, I learned early on with my pastor not to put my mouth on him, right? I learned early on. I learned when David said that he didn't put his hands on Saul, he never put his mouth on Saul either. He didn't talk bad about Saul. He didn't speak ill will against Saul because he said he was the Father's anointed. So even though the Father literally delivered him into his hand, if David had killed him, he would have been breaking the law of the Father. So the Father was, watch this, baiting Saul, but at the same time, testing David's heart. This man hates you so much. Let's see how much you really hate him. Do you hate him that much? Or want to hurt him so bad to where you will go against my word to get your revenge? Even though the Father put him in his way those many times, he did not touch him with his mouth, nor did he touch him with his hands. He says, as long as you live, I will not touch the Lord's anointed, not with his hands, nor with his mouth. Many people think they ain't touching the people's anointed with their hands. Oh, I didn't put my hands on them physically, but you always saying something negative about them. Watch this. Those speaking negatively about Queen Etana, guess what you just did? Huh? You ain't no different than Uncle Kenny. Do you see what Uncle Kenny's going through? I'm trying to tell you something. Most people don't know that. Josh was in the car. He was like, you know what? There's some women I would have never touched, being who you are. But Uncle Kenny ain't got one woman though, right? But definitely want to come up and say, I would never have done these things. See, I kept these things to myself until the right time. I'm trying to show you something. The Father knows how to pay, period. So if you think you bad, keep putting your mouth on people. And then watch what trouble comes into your life. This just came out the blue. No, it didn't. You put your mouth on the king. Well, I didn't really touch him physically, but you did it with your mouth. Shut up. So, so now, watch this. I try to warn people. I try to help them as much as possible. But when it get out of hand, you want to see the trouble in your life, watch who you put your mouth on. Those who have a problem with the king, shut up. Talk to the Father about it. It's the Father. I'm the Father's business, not yours. If you see me, he's out of this. He's out of pocket this way. Guess who put me in charge? The Father did. Did you? No. I was not elected by a grand council. I was elected by the Father. So I'm placed into the Father's hands, not you. David understood this before he even got the position of king. He was anointed to be king, but was not put into the king's position. But he did not touch the king who was currently in that position, even though the Father tested him that many times. I hear you, Father. Say, go there now. The Father has delivered you these many times. The Father didn't do it one time. He did it multiple times. Look, Samuel, look at this. Let's put in this song. David spares Saul. What did I say again? David spares Saul. 1 Samuel 24:4. Soon Saul came to the sheepfolds along the road where was a cave, and he went in to relieve himself. And David and his men were hiding in the recesses of the cave. So David's men said to him, this is the day about which the Father said to you, behold, I will deliver your enemy into your hand, that you may do with him as you wish. This is a test for David. Even though Saul is wicked as all get out, acting all bad towards David, and David seemed like he would have the right to slay the king. Right? Let's see what David says. Let's see if he's above what the words say. And David and his men were hiding in the recesses of the cave. So David's men said unto him, this is the day. Look at this. The Father done sent, cheerleaders to tell him about the word and said, like, so David's men said to him, this is the day about which the Father said to you, David, behold, I will deliver your enemy to your hand, that you may do to him as you wish. Watch this. Then David crept up secretly and cut off a corner of Saul's robe. If he can creep up that silently and cut off a piece of Saul's robe, that means he could have cut his throat. The Father literally delivered Saul to him in a basket. Here you go. Kill him if you want to. Watch this. Afterwards, watch this. David's conscience was stricken because he had cut off the corner of Saul's robe. What was the Father doing? Testing him. And that's the fear of Yah upon David. Even though David has the right, man, this man has been causing me problems and problems and problems and problems and problems. I want to just kill him and get it over with. What happened? David's conscience kicked in. What is that? That's the spirit. That's the Father's spirit upon him. The word is kicking in. What? Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. That's what's kicking in right now. That's what the conscience is. Let's see what David says. He reacts, right? It said, by the fear of Yahweh, it will keep you from sinning against him. So David's about to sin against the Father. But now his conscience then kicked in. Watch this. And afterward it came past, watch this, heart of Psalms, David's heart struck him. It smote him. What does it mean to smote? Let's see what that happens, what that means. What's happening to David's heart? What's happening inside of David's heart? He has every right to kill Saul. It seems like, there it is, strike him with a firm blow. Wait a minute, but I thought the Father delivered Saul into David's hands. So why in the world,
smite.
See, here's the word saying, right? Same word for Isaiah 11, smite is the same word that's been here with Saul. Smite. David had the right to smite Saul, right? But as it says that David's heart smite him, it smote him. So he's pierced in his heart. So even though David has a right to kill Saul, his heart will not let him kill him. Because he had cut off Saul's skirt. Just by cutting off Saul's skirt, David felt afraid. Wait a minute. Killing Goliath was no thing. Killing anyone else was no thing. Why is it a problem trying to kill the king? Which should be also an answer or a warning to all of you. If David himself, who has been already to be anointed to be king, could not put his hands or mouth on Saul, who the hell are you to put your mouth on me? Or to put your mouth on the queen? Or on the situation? Who? Because he had cut off Saul's skirt. And he said unto his men, the master forbid that I should do this. Look what he said. The Father has delivered Saul into his hands. But look what the Father's doing. He is testing David's heart. He's testing the heart of the new king. Will you obey what I say do, even in the midst of your anger, when people have literally wronged you? Or will you let anger get the best of you and you do outside of what my word says not to do? Ooh, that's a good lesson on integrity. And he said unto his men, the Father forbid that I should do this thing unto, what did he call Saul? His master. What? So you mean the king got a master? David's been, wait a minute, hold on. I thought that the Father said he ain't even grieving over Saul no more. I done chose me a new king. He done played Saul at his beck and call to get killed by David. Then David cut off a piece of his skirt. When he cut off a piece of his skirt, a corner of it, the Father strikes his heart. Well, David's heart smotes him. And then he says, look at this, man, the Father is forbidden that I kill Saul. What are you talking about, David? King, this man has done this. He threw a javelin at you, was trying to kill you. He has literally turned your wife against you. He tried to turn Jonathan against you. He tried to turn the whole kingdom against you. And now the Father has literally brought this man into your life for you to kill him, and now you're trying to tell us you got cold feet? You need us to do it? No, I don't need you to do it either. Neither one of us will touch him. What just happened? David just got elevated. He just got promoted. His now kingdom is now sure, because now, even in the midst of him being angry, he is not sinning. Be angry and sin not. And he said unto his men, the Father, the Creator, that I forbid. What does it mean to be forbid? That means what? The Father is not allowing it. But wait a minute, but the Father delivered him into his hands. That means prohibit.
Forbid.
The Father prohibits that I kill Saul. The Father has vetoed. He has disallowed. He has outlawed. He has banned. He has ruled out, preclude, barred, debarred, blocked, put a stop to, put an end to. You understand? He restrained me from killing Saul. He stopped me from killing Saul. And David's like, what? Because the end of it is what? Permit. But David's not being permitted to kill Saul. The Father has stopped me, that I should do this thing unto my master, who is what? King Saul. The Father's, what did he say? The Father's anointed. Now let's go get that scripture. What did it say there? Why is this happening? Touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. No one, and I mean nobody, is above this scripture. I don't care what you feel, you think you know. You are not above this. Psalms 105 and 15 tell of his wonders. He let no man oppress them. He rebuked kings on their behalf. Do not, who rebuked them? The Father rebuked kings. Not the people rebuked kings, but the Father rebuked kings on their behalf. Do not touch my anointed ones, and do not harm, do no harm to my prophets. The two witnesses are what? They are prophets. To speak against the prophets or their household is to do what? Is to touch the Father's anointed ones. And it's to do harm to them as well. How do you think your home is going to be? Do you see what I'm saying? Look at this. Look how it ties in perfectly. So Abimelech warned all the people, saying, whoever harms this man, woo-wee, or his wife, or what about wives? Or what about household? Will surely be put to death. That's what it means by, do not touch my anointed ones. Do not harm, do no harm to my prophets. That means to them, the man, and either their wives or their children. You don't touch their household, period, with your mouth or your hands. Right? Let's go. And I try to help people out with this all the time. People don't be listening. So the Father forbid that I should do this thing unto my master. The Father anointed to stretch forth my hand against him, seeing he is what? The anointed of the Father. So David what? Stayed his servants with these words and suffered them not to rise against Saul. They was ready. None of them was cowards. They was ready to kill. But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. David also arose afterwards and went out of the cave and cried after Saul, saying, my master, the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stooped. With his face to the earth, and bowed himself. And David said to Saul, wherefore hearest thou men's words, saying, behold, David seeketh my hurt. Behold, this day thine eyes have seen how that the Father hath delivered you today into my hand in the cave. And some bade me to kill you, but my eye spared thee. And I said, I will not put forth my hand against my master, for he is what? Why in the world would David spare his enemy? Because of the word. That is the only reason. If the word was not standing in the way, this surely would have caused for Saul to be utterly put to death. But because of the word, the Father, because of the word, David did not touch him. He let him live. Because if David didn't have that, he would have been killed Saul. We ain't playing with this. We're about to kill this boy right here. So David stayed his servants with these words and suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. Right where I did that part. His eye spared thee, and I said, I will not put forth my hand against my master, for he is the Father's anointed. Moreover, my father, see the skirt of thy robe in my hand, for in that I cut off the skirt of thy robe and killed thee not. Know thou and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in my hand, and I have not sinned against thee, yet thou huntest my soul to take it. Now watch this. Saul is anointed, but so is David too. Saul is trying to kill the Father's anointed as well. Do you see this? So if Saul kills David, the Father got to take out Saul for touching the Father's anointed. Saul was anointed, and so was David. Saul has got an evil spirit sent to him. David has the Father spirit on him. But if Saul is now trying to hunt David down, the moment that David received, he already had been anointed. When David was brought into Saul's house, David was already anointed. So watch this. When Saul threw his javelin at David, guess what happened? He was trying to put his hand. He began to speak against the Father's anointed. He was speaking all against the Father's anointed. He said, David, my enemy. Let's look at that. David, my enemy. Is that not putting your hand against the Father's anointed? The Father got to do something to Saul because he's breaking his word. David, my enemy. He called David his enemy. David marries Michal. When Saul realized that the Father was with David, do you understand? Some people get mad at you because the Father is with you. They ain't got nothing else against you. It's just simply that the Father is with you. Man, I done seen you do some dirt. I done seen you do this. And I don't know why the Father ain't punished you yet. I'm trying to see you get punished, get hurt for all this stuff you done did, blah, 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 blah. And the Father is with you. Period. So all they can say is, oh, I wish you get this. I wish you get that. When Saul realized that the Father was with David and that his daughter Michal loved David, he grew even more afraid of David. So from then on, Saul was David's enemy. That is the wrong enemy to have. If the Father is for you, who can be against you? Who? Who could be against you? Seriously. Who can be against you? No enemy. If Father is for you, who could be against you? No enemy. So every time the Philistine commanders came up for battle, David was more successful than all of Saul's officers, so that his name was highly esteemed. The Father's given David glory amongst Saul. So Saul was afraid of David because the Father was with David. but he had departed from Saul. Watch this. So the father was with David, but he had departed from Saul. Some people can't take that the father has departed from them and he's now with the one who they now hate. When Saul realized that the father was with David and that his daughter Michal loved David. You understand? It's just what it is. I have the same problem. People can see that the father's with me, and so they can try to, wish bad things on me and all that kind of stuff like that. And I'm just look at it and just laugh at it. It's like if the father's for me, who could be against me? I've been doing this all my life, and nothing that anyone says stops that, no matter what has happened. Period. Let's keep it moving. Childish games. Let's go. So we got Saul, who now has David for his enemy, which is the father's anointed, which we seen earlier that David was anointed by Samuel, just as Saul was anointed. So the anointed is going against the father's anointed. How does that make sense? And you don't expect it to be tortured or damaged by that. Doesn't make sense. Not even the slightest bit. Now watch this. All right. Moreover, my father, see the skirt of thy robe in my hand, for in that I cut off the skirt of thy robe and kill thee not. Now know thou and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in my hand, and I have not sinned against you. Yet thou huntest my soul to take it. The Father judge between me and you, and the Father avenge me of you. But my hand shall not be upon thee. Meaning what? He is leaving everything in the Father's hand. David has not put any words against Saul. He has simply said, you know what? The Father going to deal with you. That's what it is. That's not my job to do. I don't have no qualms with you. The Father's business is with you. He will deal with you. But my hand will not touch you. Period. That's what's going on. As said the proverb of the ancients, wickedness proceeded from the wicked, but my hand shall not be upon thee. After whom is the king of Israel come out? After whom dost thou pursue? After a dead dog, after a flea. Now, I have to speak on behalf of also the other women inside of Goshen, right? Because there's been other foul things that Uncle Kenny has said before as well against some of the women inside of Goshen, right? And I have to apologize equally to them as well, okay? It's not right for me to apologize or say what I say then and then not make known about the rest. So Uncle Kenny has said some things about Deja before. Azaria, Isha, Kiara, Tia, and other people, even Itana. Some other things that he done said about people. But yet and still he himself, and I was like, what you doing? Don't do that. But he didn't listen on a lot of things, and a lot of things now is happening, and I see it. The Father always give me the receipt when things go on. So I want to openly apologize for every single thing that Uncle Kenny ever said. He even said some things against Cheryl, Carla, just a lot of women, inside of Goshen. And I know that Josh was there to actually hear it. So I know he will bear record of what I said, of different things he done said that was out of pocket. He done called some women hoes, bitches, I won't say sluts. He even said some things about Quad. I want to put her in there. Everyone is included, right? So, and those things were wrong. And behind closed doors, I was talking to him saying, you can't do that and you need to apologize. And at the one time, Uncle Kenny wanted to leave. He didn't want to face the music. He just wanted to leave. And I was like, no, You can't just go ahead and do these things and just try to run, you know? And I told him, like, that is not their fault. You're not going to sit there and blame them for different things. That is not their fault. But he came in here with his mindset of Christianity, you know, because he was monogamous. But, you know what I'm saying, the king was polygamous. And so he would always try to come against, even sometimes about, you know, polygamy. So I would, you know what I'm saying, he would post his stuff about monogamous, whatnot. And I was like, well, if anyone who's actually talking about monogamous, but don't understand that, you know, the 12 tribes came from a polygamous relationship, is literally the same thing as if these, like, as if they're eating their own seed, right? So people who have a problem with polygamous relationships, there is something wrong with you. You have a problem with your making. We came from Adam and Eve, but guess what? Adam and Eve died. They was gone. The flood took and washed that all away. With Noah, started a whole new beginning. Period. So the first time we was first just eating fruits and berries, right? I mean, berries and vegetables and all that kind of stuff. In the second beginning, or in another beginning, we had now fruits and meat. We had animals to eat. People don't want to talk about that though. They just want to talk about a biased situation because they are done eating meat. So they want to make sure everybody else is done eating meat. Forget that. Truth is not biased, it's absolute. The word says, as much as I've given you the fruits and the vegetables and stuff, now I've also given you meat. If you're going to talk about this thing, talk about it in the right light. Stop trying to promote what you want to promote and promote what it is. Now, Jacob, he only wanted one woman, but the father sought to give him two. Nope. My bad. 3. Nope. 4. And from these 4 women makes up the children of Isolele. Without these 4 women, you don't have the 12 tribes. You only have the children that Leah brought forth and the children that Rachel brought forth. So let's see how many how many tribes we will have if only Leah and Rachel bear children. We already know that Rachel only had 2 children, so that is literally Joseph and Benjamin. So the tribe of 2. How many did Leah have? Let me see. How many children did Leah have? So everyone who's against polygamy, this is for you. Leah had, and the people that, well, the father's going back to the beginning. Okay. So then I guess he ain't going back to the 12. If he's going back to the beginning, then I guess he's going to disown all the 12 tribes. But Jinkies, he put that into a covenant that he would never, ever disown the 12 tribes. That if the stars and the sands could be counted and stuff like that, then he said that the tribes will stop being before him. So that means the father will never put down polygamy. It's tied in to the stars and the sands. Put that in your pipe and smoke it for all the monogamous people. Leah had how many sons? 6 sons. All right, so now we got, so what is 6 and 2? How many tribes do we have with Leah having 6 sons and 1 daughter? And the daughter don't count as a tribe, but she got 6 sons, and then Rachel has 2 kids. That's only 8, right? 6 and 2. That's only 8. That's not the 12 tribes. That's only 8 kids altogether between Leah and Rachel. Period. My bad. The unloved Leah bore 7 of Jacob's children, 6 sons, right? So 6 sons plus Rachel's is 2. So we have 8. So we have the tribe of 8. The 8 tribes. 8 tribes. So we can no longer, so if you want to be monogamous, we got to take away one of those. So then who he wanted to marry? So let's see. So since Jacob only wanted to marry Rachel and not Leah, so we're going to take away the 6 kids, and now we only got, watch this, 2 tribes. So if you don't like polygamy, stop boasting about the 12 tribes of Isolele. You being a hypocrite about talking about the 12 tribes when the 12 tribes came from 4 different women. Truth is not biased, it's absolute. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. We came from 4 different women. That is polygamous. Whether Jacob wanted to be or not, it does not matter. The Father put it in his way, and the Father is his will, not your will. Don't care what you think. Your thinking is like stinking. It's straight up stinking thinking. That's why he said, do not think, just do what he tell you to do. So we got 2 tribes, which will be Rachel, because Jacob only wanted to marry Rachel. Therefore, he only wanted what? 1 woman. That would be monogamous. So then we would have what? 2 tribes, not the 12. We just went down a lot then, right? We lost literally 10 tribes. 10 tribes. Based off of just being monogamous. So next time when I hear people about talking about monogamy, like, oh, you must come from the 2 tribes then, huh? I'm about to mock people. Make fun of them. I'm going to mock you and what you believe. And I'm going to do it purposely and make it hurt. I'm going to make so much fun of you. People want to talk about monogamy all the time, but I want to talk about where we come from. We come from polygamy. Period. Get over it. Deal with it. So the women in America who don't like it, suck it up. I don't care. If you don't like it, then go ask the Father not to make you be born. It's better for you not to be born on this earth because it's not changing for you or anyone else. The men who don't like it, so what? Suck it up. Did the Father care about your emotions, about you being coming from a monogamous relationship or polygamous relationship? No, he doesn't care. If you going to claim the 12 tribes, then dang it, you came from a polygamous relationship. You didn't come from a monogamous relationship. You was born of a polygamous culture, a polygamous nation, a polygamous, holy, set apart nation. Huh? Sacred, set apart, different. Beautiful. Polygamy is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with polygamy. It's beautiful. So I want to boast the 12 tribe chart, the 12 tribe charts, but don't want to boast about polygamy. You are being a hypocrite. How you gonna boast about the 12 tribes, but don't want to talk about where the 12 tribes came from? Make that make sense. How is that balanced in any shape, form, or fashion? It's not balanced. So those who are monogamous, you come from 2 tribes then. That's Rachel. And remember, she had to wait for the Father to open her womb before she even get pregnant with 1. She went to Jacob and said, like, give me kids or else I die. He said, I can't open your womb. He got mad at her. It said that Jacob got mad at Rachel because she asked him to do something he couldn't even do. He up there pumping away. She was like, give me kids or else I die. He's like, I ain't the Most High. I can't give you kids. The Father has closed your womb, not me. And he got mad at Rachel. Because sometimes y'all women can say the most just interesting things. Like we supposed to control some stuff. Like we supposed to control our nut. Control it. Cause me to get pregnant. If the Father has closed your womb is closed until he opens it. Right? So let's get back. All right. That is for those who are in, I just love monogamy, but you want to boast about the 12 tribes? Do me a favor. Shut up about the 12 tribes if you want to boast about monogamy and you don't want to talk about where you came from. It says don't forget what you come from, but most people want to forget where they come from and want to boast monogamous, but don't want to actually talk about polygamous. That's the dumbest thing on the earth. That is not balanced whatsoever. I'm so happy that we come from a polygamous relationship. I love the hell out of it. Would not want to change it. Most of our men are polygamous, period. But they are scared to say it. Why? Because bone-ass Christianity has forced everyone to be monogamous. You're monogamous. No, the heck we not. That's why most people end up cheating. And they call it cheating. Oh, he cheated on me. No, he's not. Your man was just monogamous. He was polygamous, playing monogamous. Why? Because he was told all of his life to be monogamous. When our whole entire culture from so-called Africa or Eden is polygamous, whether you like it or not. Period. And that's the truth. All right. As said the proverb of the ancients, wickedness proceedeth from the wicked, but my hand shall not be upon thee. That's what some of y'all better do. When it comes to situations you don't understand and don't know, y'all better just keep y'all mouth closed. Man, the queen did this, y'all just better shut up. Man, the king did this, you better shut up. The kids did, you better just shut up. That's Uncle Kenny too. Uncle Kenny got a little bit uncomfortable, got a little bit comfortable at times, familiar sometimes. And would say that to me, and it was not one time, no offense, but some of the women you been with, I would have never been with. Just, all the women that King David been with, I just wouldn't have been with them. I'm just looking for one. Well, get the one that you need then, damn it. Get them. Get the one before you start opening your mouth and start talking about people. And then you would literally talk about the women saying, I wouldn't be with this, wouldn't be with that one, don't. And people are like, do you look like the cup that you actually want people to be in too? Your standard's a little bit too high, but you don't even match the standard that you're looking for. And that's real talk. She ain't really all that. People are like, well, he ain't all that either. I'm just being real and very transparent. So I would write about polygamy, he would write about monogamous. To pump it up. And then I got on one time, I was like, no, how you gonna talk about monogamous when I talk about polygamous? If you talk against polygamous, because you only want one, but you ain't got that one yet. How does that make sense? So it's like he came into Goshen to try to change my mind. That didn't happen. He said, I came over here to try to change the king's mind. Because he had Josh up under him. So he thought Josh was up under him, the young whippersnapper. He thought he would actually have me up under him too. So meaning what? He will be the one running Goshen. How many people know that the Father did not let that happen? I might play dumb. I may even look dumb. But that's just to see what kind of cards you are holding in your hands. If the moment you think you're going to overtake, I will come out with some cards that will literally cut your hand in half. I'll just be sitting there holding and just waiting until you to make that right move. Then once you make that move, I will cut your head off. Do not move against me. I used to play chess. And chess is a game for those who play by strategic moves. You don't just run in because you can get cut up. You have to literally strategize your movements. You can't just, think you're just going to get all this. When something looks too easy to take, it's because it is a trap. Those ones like, ooh, he just left this all out here for me. Nah, go ahead and take it. As soon as you take it, you done left yourself open for king, not for king, but for checkmate or check. And then you got a couple more moves before we say checkmate. Game over. So if anything on the chessboard ever looked too good to be true, it's because it is too good to be true. They're trying to bait you. Just saying. Oh, someone don't like this post, don't like this live. Oh, who cares? I don't do this for the likes or anything. I do this because it's the truth. If I did this for the likes, I wouldn't be on here. Literally. Because half this stuff, sometimes people come on here, some people don't come on here. If I did this for the likes, what's the whole purpose of what I'm doing? Seriously. I'm not moved by people like, oh, we like your post. Oh, we didn't like your post. So what? It doesn't matter. I'm doing what I got to do because this is literally what I've been told to do since 2013 or 14. Father said, why are you at work? Why are you trying to go to work when you're already at work? I was doing stuff like this already in the prisons and other things. Always teaching people, speaking to them people about the word. That's what I've always done. So the Father says, why are you trying to go to work when you're already at work? So I've been doing this for a very, very long time. You understand? So let's get it in. So Kusabi people, everyone who is on watching by YouTube. All right. After whom is the king of Isolele come out? After whom dost thou pursue? After a dead dog, after a flea? The Father therefore be judge, and judge between me and you. And see, and plead my cause, and deliver me out of your hand. That's exactly what's going on, right? So now, watch this. And it came to pass when David had made an end of speaking these words unto Saul, and Saul said, is this thy voice, my son David? David called him father as well. So that means he was old enough to be his dad. And Saul called David his son, meaning he was old enough to be his son. He was old enough to be his father. And David was like a son to him. And Saul lifted up his voice and wept. And he said to David, thou art more, watch this, righteous than I, for thou hast rewarded me good, whereas I have rewarded thee evil. That's like the same thing as what? Heaping hot coals of fire on a person's head. And thou hast showed this day, thou hast dealt well with me, for as much as when the Father had delivered me, watch this, into your hands. So Saul realized that I was delivered to your hands by the one who created me. And guess what? You did not kill me. Thou killest me not. For if a man find his enemy, will he let him go well away? So Saul knows that once you catch your enemy, you don't let him go. You kill him. You get rid of the threat. Wherefore the Father reward thee good for that thou hast done unto me this day. And now behold, I know well that thou shalt surely, watch this, be king. Look at this. Because David did not go against the Father's word, even in his anger against Saul, and kept himself, has self-control, according to the word, be angry and sin not, the Father has now called for his own enemy, which is Saul, to say, now I know of a surety that I have been replaced, and you are now in my stead as the true king. Why? Because where Saul had failed at, which is obeying the Father's word to the T, David has now carried out to the T. He felt a prick in his heart when he was about to kill Saul. And he was like, you know what? I don't feel right. About to kill him. So I'm not going to touch him. And he told his servants, don't touch Saul. Let him live. That's not our business. We have the right to kill him. But you know what? it's not our business to kill him. The Father anointed him and put him in this position. It is the Father's job to remove him or to kill him. But we will not put our hands on him. We will not put our mouth on him. We will let him be. That's what some of y'all need to do. But some of y'all don't know how to do that. Y'all just want to talk. And the more y'all talk, Father's like, how can I deal with him when you are constantly talking about him, putting your mouth on him? So if the Father actually deals with him, he got to, if he deals with him, then the Father will literally be going against his own word. Let me show you when it came to also this with David and his relationships. So David and Michal, this was his wife. Let's see what the Father did to Michal when she spoke against him. She thought that David was doing a little too much. And Michal came up and said something. Look, it says Michal's contempt for David. Ooh, that's not good at all. What does it mean to have contempt? Let's see what that means. Contempt. Sometimes women just think, you know what? This. And we men like, man, what is it now? What is it? What have I done now? Look at this. Disrespect. So contempt means to scorn. The feeling that a person or thing is worthless or beneath consideration. Disrespect, disdain, disrespect, disregard, slighting, neglect, contumacy, mockery, derision, ridicule. So she ridiculed David. She disdained him. She disrespected him. She had hatred towards him. She had a loathing, a disgust for him. So maybe she was hurt by him, right? Let's see how the Father still dealt with that anyway. Let's see. See, the Father care about that. As the ark of Yah was entering the city of David, Saul's daughter, Michal, looked down from a window and saw King David leaping and dancing before the Father, and she despised him in her heart. Oh, my milk of magnesia. So they brought the ark of Yah and set it in its place inside the tent that David had pitched for it. Then David offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before the Father. Let's see what else happens with him, with this good old Michal. Let's see what happened. Let's see how the Father deals with her and her contempt for her husband, David. Let's see how that works out. Some people just got to show, right? I'm gonna go ahead and I want that part right there. Despise. She despised him. Let's go see what that means. So now here we got David has a wife who despises him. Ooh, let's see how the Father deals with it. Detest, despise, hate, loathe, abhor, abominate, execrate, cite or slight, look down on, revile, mock, spurn, shun, contempt, dislike, scorn, disdain, deplore, deride, derelish. The opposite of it is I like him, I respect him. So she did not respect David. She didn't have no regard for him. Nothing who he was. She found him intolerable. Can you imagine being married and then at the same time being found intolerable to the person? Watch this. And as the ark of Yah came into the city of David, Michal's Saul's daughter looked through a window and saw King David leaping and dancing before the Father, and she despised him, looked down on him. She hated him in her heart. And they brought in the ark of Yah and set it in place in the midst of the tabernacle that David had pitched for it. And David offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before the Father. And as soon as David had made an end of offering burnt offerings and peace offerings, now watch this. David has a great victory. Like I'll try to show you, after you have a great victory, the enemy wants to come in with something, somewhere, and try to bring something. Accusation, some kind of pain, something. It never fails. Now, since I am David, this will be me going through with Michal. Let's see how the Father dealt with one of my wives before. Let's see how that happens. All right. Soon as I get through praising, and I'm gonna tell you, it's the same pattern with me today. I'm so serious. I've seen it. I can go up here and knock down a whole bunch of things, free a whole bunch of people in their mind when it comes to the word. I guarantee you the enemy's right there, someone in my life, or even cops, or even something I hear will happen to try to do what? Take away my joy. But it never works. I'm just telling you my real life. All right, here we go. And they brought in the ark of Yah and set in this place in the midst of the tabernacle that David had pitched for it. And David offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before the Father. And as soon as David had made an end of offering burnt offerings and peace offerings, he blessed the people in the name of the Father of hosts. And he dealt among all the people, even among the whole multitude of Israel, as well as to the women as men, to everyone a cake of bread and a good piece of flesh and a flagon of wine. So while the people departed, everyone to his house, they go in there to do what? Celebrate. So the king then gave them parting gifts. He then gave them some bread, gave them some good meat, then gave them some wine. Go and be merry. We done brought the ark home. Go home and celebrate. Get your bang on, get your freak on, whatever you're going to do. Here's some wine, set the mood, get it going. Watch what he has to deal with after he done did this for the people who he got to deal with at home. So, right, so we can have other wives, but he's coming home to her and see how peaceful his home is going to be. Let's just see what happens. Then David returned to, watch this, to bless his own household. So he don't bless everyone in his household. Let's see if he can bless his own household. Let's see what kind of woman he got here. Then David returned to bless his own household. And Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet David. Some things wasn't done the way she thought it should be done. So now she's going to come out with her dislikes and her controlling mechanism. Well, I don't like this, I don't like that. And David was like, let's see what David does and see what the father does, right? Go out to meet David and said, how glorious. So she's mocking him. Remember, she has a disdain for him. She has a hatred in her heart. So what's the word she's saying to him is not going to be in any way of lifting him up. She is saying this as a condescending tone. She is trying to tear him down. All right. So she's saying what? Like I said, forget how you think a king should be. I'm trying to be the whole opposite. If you think a king supposed to be this way, good, keep it to yourself. I have no respect, no even ideology, nor even qualms of trying to be what you think a king should act or be. I can care less. I'm rough and I'm rugged and I'm me. Period. I've always been this way. I'm King David. Damn it, so let me be. All right, let me breathe. All right. Handmaidens of his servants, as one of the vain fellows shamelessly uncovered himself. Let's see what David says. And people will see like, dang, this dude really is King David. Because people probably done had conversations with me like, the same way that David's going to respond is the same way that people will hear like, you know what, I done heard Yasha respond in the same manner. Like David literally must be Yasha because he answers the same way. This stuff is shocking. Watch this. And David said to Michal, it was before the Father which chose me before thy father. Watch this. He done literally put Michal down. He said, look, The Father chose me over your own daddy. He just smacked Mikhail. He literally came with an insult, punched her in her face. Like, excuse me? Are you talking? The Father chose me over your daddy. Now what? He is mocking her. That is hilarious. It was before the Father which chose me before your father and before all his house. He done put down her whole house. Forget you and your mama and your daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like he said the Father, but he using the word. He's like, the Father chose me not over your father only, but over all his whole entire house. Now what? Watch this. To appoint me ruler over the people of over the Father, over Yisolele. Therefore will I play before the Father, and I will yet be, watch this, more vowed. Let me go ahead and find what it means to be vowed. Because David didn't say, I'm going to quiet down. He didn't say, you know what, you're right. I shouldn't have showed that much skin today. He said, I'm going to be even more vowed. I will literally pull out the penis the next time if I have to. I can care less what you're saying to me, woman. Look at this.
Vile.
Foul means to be foul, nasty. He said, I will be even more nasty. I will be unpleasant. I will be bad, disagreeable, horrid, horrible. Didn't I just say the same thing? Like I could care less what people feel about me being king? I'm not trying to be the same way. He said I will be offensive, atrocious, abominable, dreadful, repulsive, off-putting, repelling, revolting, repugnant, disgusting, distasteful, wretched, shameful, shabby, monstrous, deplorable, sorry, low, base, vulgar, ugly, shocking, appalling, disgraceful, dishonorable, execrable, evil, wicked, dark, dirty, vicious, sinful, corrupt, sordid. I will be even more sinful. I would be even more degenerate. I would be even more reprobate. I would be even more debased. I would be even more perverted, depraved, fiendish, hellish, damnable, yucky, sick-making, gut-churning, icky, gross, sick, rotten, low-down, noisome, scurvy, disgustingful, loyalful. He says, I can care less how you feel about me. I will be even that much more that will piss you the hell off. Because the opposite of all that was pleasant. He said, I'm going to be everything but pleasant. I'm going to be even more obnoxious, revolting, sickening, nauseating, shocking, hateful, horrible, devilish. Do you understand? I will be even more bad. And I will yet be more dishonorable than this, and will be base in my own sight. What be base? That means low. I will do anything I got to the cause for my image. He's telling this woman, I don't have an image to uphold, lady. Me being king don't mean nothing. It's not about an image to me. People need to understand that's exactly how I am. Ain't about no image to me. I don't have no image to uphold. Literally, I am King David, the one who had Solomon, the one who had Absalom. Bottom,
Base.
foot, support, meaning what? I will be even that much low to the ground. See, ground. I would be even that much more lower to the ground. And I will be base in my own sight. And I will be that much what? Lowly in my own sight. And of the maidservants which thou hast spoken of. Look how he literally about to smack her in the face. You want to talk about the maidservants, but guess what? They was giving me praise. They was out here worshiping the Father with me while you up here got your stank nose turned up at them. They was out here worshiping the Father with me. Now what? He literally done shut her up. He done smacked his wife with the word and went on about his business. And then the Father's gonna come back with another smack. Let's go. In my own sight, and of the maidservants which thou hast spoken of, and of them shall I be had in honor. Ooh wee! He said the women that you talking about, you said I done shake my thing in front of. Guess what? They give me honor. More so than you do. Ouch. In my own sight, and of the maidservants which thou hast spoken of them shall I be had in honor. Therefore, Michal, the daughter of Saul, had no children until the day of her death. You know why? Because the Father saw it and he was displeased. And he literally closed up Michelle's womb. So some things should not be said, even though you might feel them. Some things best just to shut up about it and let the Father deal with it. Because if you come against the king, the Father will deal with you. Because if he deals with the king without dealing with you, then the Father himself is a hypocrite on his own word. And his own word don't need to be carried out. Because now he's going to cause you to touch the Father's anointed and do his prophet harm with your words. So it's best to just shut up. But David said to Michal, I was dancing before Yah, who chose me over your father and all his house. When he appointed me ruler over the father's people, I will celebrate before Yah, and I will humiliate and humble myself even more than this. Yet I will be honored by the maid servants of whom you have spoken. What? Spoken against. And Michal, the daughter of Saul, had no children to the day of her death. What's good? That's exactly how my heart is on a lot of stuff. When people hear me speak, because I am literally King David in the flesh. That Father brought back again. And my mentality is still the same as it is in these scriptures. That's why the Father says, you're all through this book, because I'm freaking King David. Period. People say sometimes like, you know what? Sometimes he just seems heartless. Look what David just said. It seems heartless what he just said to his wife. Literally, it seemed heartless. Like he didn't care about her feelings or anything. He didn't say, you know what? You right about that, baby. I'm sorry about that. I'll do better next time. No, he said, you know what? This was for the Father. And the women you're talking about, they give me honor. And I'm actually even, the Father chose me to be the king over your father and your father's household. Now what? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. I'm the same to this day. No change. No let up. Let's go. Yeah. I love this. All right, and what's this? And now behold, I know well that thou shalt surely be king, and the kingdom of Israel shall be established in thy hand. He done told him, now the king is given, he is prophesying to David, said, I know that the kingdom of Israel, shall be established by your hand. Swear now therefore unto me by the Lord that thou wilt not cut off my seed after me. Here is the covenant, and that thou wilt not destroy my name out of my father's house. And David sware unto Saul, and Saul went home. But David and his men got up and got up unto the hold. Now you see the two witnesses, King Saul and King David, the only two kings that the Father chose in initial beginning. He chose Saul first. Saul messed up. Then the Father chose David. These are the only two that the Father recognizes as the two prophets in all of the earth at this moment. Literally, the prophecies of this Bible is to bring forth, it's the good news is what? We have a new king. That is what it is. That's why they say there shall be no black messiahs, which means there shall be no black kings. So the whole thing they've been trying to do on this earth was trying to keep forth the black king from coming forth. So that's why they had Planned Parenthood, to destroy us, to kill us. Why? To kill the baby that will be in the womb of the mother who might be carrying the black king. Understand now? All right. Now, let's go to Daniel. And I think my computer about to die in a little bit. If it does, if the light comes back on and all that kind of good stuff, I'll keep it going. But if not, then it is what it is. I got to stop, right? Because I don't have no more batteries. Daniel lies in when Daniel, let me see. I had to start from the beginning. I was there. So they're going to try to use the Father to go against Daniel. His love that Daniel has for the Father, they're about to try to use the love that Daniel has for the Father against him. Silly rabbits. Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king, and thus said unto King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors, and the princes, the counselors, and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute. They are flattering him. They are lifting his head up. His head is becoming fatter by the minute. And to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any creator or man for 30 days, save of you, O king. Listen how he they done spent this around and making it like butter. Like, look, you are almighty king. Hallelujah. Bless you. There is none greater than you. But then watch this. There's none greater than you, but they're going to ask for something greater than him to actually seal this decree with. Like, we nothing against you, king, but you know what I'm saying? Your decree is cool, but we need something of a seal that seals your position. That if you go against this, it causes for your head to be taken off too. Ooh, right? Let's go. Save, O thee, O king. He shall be cast into the den of lions. That's death. That means even if the king breaks this, he will be thrown into the lion's den too. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing that it, watch this, be not changed. Wait a minute. So what we're starting to see about a seal. Once something is sealed, it cannot be changed. It cannot be unsealed. So if a person is sealed, so when I was sealed in October 7, 1997, I cannot be unsealed no matter what happens or what people think or feel about me. Ouch. So sorry. Too bad. That it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Wherefore, King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Watch this. So he sealed it, right? Now, when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chambers toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before the Father as he did aforetime. He's like, you think this is going to stop me? I'm still be real. Because if he changes up right now, guess what that means? Daniel is fake. So he has to stand in the face of death. When you are who you are, it doesn't matter who stands with you or who stands against you. At that time, if the whole world is standing against you, you still stand up and keep doing what you've been doing, regardless of people speaking about you, whether they stand with you, whether they come against you, whether people are there for you or not for you, if they supporting you, not supporting you no more, it doesn't matter. The Father could be testing your heart. All right, while this person's there, you was all strong and big, strong, big and bad, right? But now these people in love. Are you still the same as you was aforetime? Because if you change up, O king, then now you're fake. You got these people in your corners. They leave. Okay. Are you still the same? Or do you change up? You got to stay the same. Why? Because people may come and people may go. But you yourself need to stay the same. Daniel stayed the same. He has a death threat on his life. He has a bounty on his head. If he change up, then guess what? The Father's going to change up towards him. But the Father's not going to put him through something he can't withstand or hold on to. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying, making supplication before the Father. So they knew exactly what time to come in on Daniel. Why? Because Daniel had a set time of prayer. I think that's where Islam get it from. You have to understand that Daniel is in the time, he's in the hands of Islam. Medes and Persians, that's Saudi Arabians. That's Palestinians. That's the Arabs. That's Islam. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any creator or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the lion's den? The king answered and said, the thing is true. According to the law of the Medes and Persians, meaning what? It has been sealed, meaning it cannot be unsealed. What's it says? What it says? So once something's been sealed, it cannot be altered. Let's see what it means to alter. So once you have been sealed, there is no way to change it. So when I said out my mouth that I've been sealed by the Father, the seal of God is real. That means, well done, good and faithful servant. I have already entered into the joy of the Father. Now guess who I'm trying to get in to the gates with me? You all. It will behoove you not to go against me, but to listen. If you think that your relationship is higher than the Father with me, you don't lost your mind. Has the Father sealed you? If he has not sealed you, please do yourself a favor and stop thinking that way. You will get yourself messed up. Now,
Altar.
it's funny how the word altered and altar, almost like the same thing, like a building, like a temple, right? It can't be changed. Make changes to it. Now watch this. I've been sealed. And the same seal for the word altar is the same word for the word altar, which is a building or a temple. Modify, improve, convert, revise. So it's no adapting, no amending, no improving, no modifying, no restyling, no revamping, no rework, no refining, no reorder, no evolving, no transforming, no varying, no tweaking, no reshaping, no remaking, no customizing, no turning. The opposite of it is to preserve. So if you have been sealed, that means you have been preserved. So I've been literally preserved. All right. I'm literally ready for the day of death. So when I die, guess where I know I'm going? I'm going to be with the Father. Why? Because I am his temple. I am literally his home. I am King David, the scriptures speak of, right? I done killed Goliath, all that good stuff. Let's keep it moving. That's why he brought me back to kill some more people. Hallelujah. Then answered they and said before the king that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, right? So the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not, which what means, which change is not, right? So it's the same thing when we get for the Father's name when it says like the Father does not change, right? It's about to go off, right? Then answered they and said before the king, then Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. So they call him. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, Know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persian is that no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed. They was trying to seal Daniel's fate. They wanted him dead. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, The Father whom thou servest continually, he will deliver you. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, meaning what? It cannot be moved. He cannot run out of this den. That means that Daniel is lion's food if the Father does not deliver him. And the king sealed it. It's another seal. And the king sealed it. So if it's sealed with his own signet and with the signet of his masters, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel, meaning what? No one can deliver him out of this sealed condition. You cannot unseal this. It's done. So once a person is sealed, they cannot be unsealed. Sorry for ya. Then the king went to his palace.